طلع اللي بخاطرها هاي.
ايوه see all the news with that baby. Yeah, man's on the train. Getting them teasing. See what I'm going now. That thing.
You can't stop.
Huh?
You can't put that label on me.
That's what I missed it. I just came back. What happened? What happened?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to go to a binary. You're believing. No, you don't.
His singing.
Who says you have to? Who says you have to?
Years of evolution has put us into that place.
Well, you need to get out of that language. Nobody consumes you in that language. Sorry, nobody consumes you in that language.
That I have to go against the fundamentals of my core as a human being to pretend that something isn't something that's in front of me. I have to now make believe that the person who I see in front of me, who I know what it is, isn't what I think it is. I have to pretend a tree is a bus. You are. I mean, what I'm trying to express to you is,
So
you are asking me to imagine. You're not. I'm not asking you to do this. But what I'm saying is, by the way you come across as saying, I don't see myself as this, so don't call me this, is now you're imposing on me what I should think. You're no longer just saying this is what I think. You're saying what I am now supposed to think of you, what I am supposed to imagine you are.
She said that she was like, help.
I know, but you do, because when you don't, when I say, okay, are you a trans person? You say, well, I don't think I'm a trans person. Well, I have to now go, okay, what do I call her? What do I approach her as? Is she trans? Isn't she trans? Do I have to now reinterpret everything I know about the world? Do I have to reinterpret everything I know about
I think you're consuming.
my life?
I think you're consuming so many things. You're consuming individual with corporate,
Yeah,
with all
with the
sorts
collective
of things.
as well as the individual. We don't just live. You're not. No man is an island. We don't live on an island on our own. We live in society. We
But
live
the world,
in communities.
okay, can I speak? Because
Yeah,
you're going
sorry.
on a lecture in like a,
No,
I
but
don't know
I'm
what
just
type of
trying to-
lecture, like
I'm
some
sorry.
utopia
I'm
lecture
trying to
about
explain.
sticking up for the world
No,
against
I'm trying to
Naomi or
explain that
something.
we all live in a society, and as a society, we decide certain norms, certain ideas about how we conduct ourselves, how we progress through the society.
So what are those norms?
Well, those norms are that for the most time, for the longest period of our history, men are males with penises and women are females that have wombs.
My
that
friend,
give birth.
from the Bible days, there are people who were different in their sexuality or gender. So what are you talking about?
But we fundamentally recognize what a man is and what a woman is. Now, the transgender community
So
is
because
now redefining
okay,
that.
can I come in? You keep on lecturing. Okay, so we've decided we all understand. This is your words. We all understand. This is your words. We all understand what a man is. We all understand what a woman is. So So that's your reality, that you know what a man is, you know what a woman is. So is that why it's...
At least I used to. I used to know.
Is that why it's difficult to understand why, if you know what a man and you know what a woman is that why it's so frightening, so horrific, so difficult for you to understand that not everybody's male and female?
No, it's not that.
Isn't that the case that we are all either male or female?
Yeah, what I'm
Like,
saying is,
that we live in a binary system.
we live in a society, we know who there are men and there are women. Now, I'm more than happy to put a third sort of
There's
slot
more
there.
than three, my friend, there's
Yeah,
many.
no, I don't accept that, but I'm willing to put the trans as a third possibility of a bit in between a man, woman, and trans.
Well, I'll break it down for you. There's far more than three. You get people who've got boobs, who've still got a penis. You get
that's
all
still
sorts
trans.
of you get all sorts of variations.
That's
yes.
still trans. You are transitioning
But more fundamentally
to a
than that,
woman.
be either male or female. That's the more
No,
fundamental.
there are
genetic-
people, my friend, there are people who are genderqueer, which means they're neither male nor female. You see, what you need to do is you need to go to Birkbeck College, maybe, and you need to do a study on gender
But
and
my point is,
sexuality.
why is it that I have to kind of study an organisation of your choice? Why can't I have a viewpoint on this? That fundamentally there's men and there's female. One has XY chromosomes and one has XX. Like, I've got nothing against you or you want to be transsexual. Your business, your life, I don't care. But this idea that we have to essentially acknowledge a third gender which isn't based in any objective science is kind of a bit of a problem. I think it's kind of what you're going down.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say.
Like, I don't care about.
Could you define what
I can't cope with 3 people.
Sorry.
I will try to in a few minutes, darling.
Could you just answer-
but
could you
can
answer
I?
this question first?
Okay.
We're on the same line.
Okay. So can you come back to your thing because I've lost
Yeah,
myself.
so like I don't like fundamentally speaking, there's either male or female. It's binary. Because you have either XY chromosomes or XX chromosomes in your body, right? And that's kind of like the base of what we judge gender on. Why is it that gender is now this kind of like abstracted thing which is subjective when it very much is objective? Like, you know, you're either born male or female, right? Like, and that can't be changed.
No,
So
there
your
are
biological
no.
have sex with male or female, not necessarily your gender.
Can I say?
On that note, I don't think they're different. I don't think they're different. I think they're the
So
same.
you don't think there's a difference between gender and sex?
No, you're born male or you're born female.
Can I say to you that
I
there?
do.
Can I
Gender
say?
and sex are different.
Can you explain how?
Gender is mentally your sex. Look, I was born biologically male, but I identify as female. It's about making me a transsexual woman.
No, like I don't mean to be disrespectful, but biologically speaking, you're a male. But like,
Yes.
I'm more than happy to call you whatever name you want and treat you with respect and everything else, right? But fundamentally speaking, I can't accept the fact that you're a like by definition female. Does that make sense?
So what do I mean by my
choice
definition
or a
of female?
scenario where somebody wants to embrace it?
Again, like, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but from a biological perspective, you're a male.
Yeah, and I know
just
that.
Naomi.
I was
I
born
don't want to
biologically
get
male. Yeah.
Right. And if you identify as a woman after the fact, you feel
not
this is
offence,
the way that you want to
Yeah,
like
which would make me a trans
terminology. I'm just Naomi. I don't want to.
No, you're still male.
Which I identify as a trans female. I was born biologically male. I've transitioned to female, which would make me a trans.
So going off this identifying
want
thing,
to be part
why
of it.
is it like he said? Why can't I say right? I'm a car. Why is it? Why is your gender kind of subjective? Why is
So,
it
what,
change?
so gender is fluid, and gender is, you know, there's not you identifying as a car. You're basically identifying. That's a piece of metaphor.
No, but I can think I'm a car. It
Yeah,
doesn't
you
mean
can.
that I
Again,
am a
like,
car.
none of your
I may not have
chromosomes are
wheels,
XX.
but
Yeah,
I'm
and
a
I
car.
know. I've never claimed to be a biological woman though.
Yeah,
I'm very aware of a trans.
no, it is. But I think we have to understand that that gender and sex aren't different.
Gender and sex are very different. And what Naomi is saying is that gender actually is a spectrum. There's not just male and female. There are
Okay.
in between as well.
But that's fundamental that I don't agree with.
Okay, then that's your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion, but I think it's actually
No,
not.
that is
I
your
think
opinion.
okay. Well, I'll try and prove why it's not my opinion. That there's either two types of human beings, right? We have humans that have XX chromosomes and humans that have XY chromosomes.
Yes.
Why then is it? So my premise that there's two genders is based on the fact that there's only XX and XY chromosomes, and women can reproduce and give birth to children, and men can impregnate women. That's my like rationale to say that there's only male and female. Now,
So why do you get somebody with a penis and a vagina
I
then?
haven't finished. So, like, basically, so now the burden of proof
Hermaphrodites
is on
are
you to
actually
try and
very
convince me that
rare,
it's
and
not
they are
spec-
considered anomalies within the human race. They are not the norm.
Like,
They
definitely,
are
there
far
are
from
some
them.
people. Isn't it the case that you can be like hermaphrodite? I think it's called, where you might be like kind of born.
Well, I
don't
think
like.
they consider hermaphrodite as like a slur now. I don't know what they call
Yeah,
themselves
it's kind of
anymore.
difficult to talk about political correctness, right? But you understand the point. We acknowledge that
intersex.
exists and that happens. But fundamentally speaking, on the whole, then there's only two genders, and I think that there's no like. I don't.
Why are we getting hung up about male and female and all of this? To me, if you go with the GARD criterion, which maybe people here don't want to discuss, but basically GARD created everybody. Okay, he said male and female, but now he knows, hopefully, that Naomi, for example, is not going to fit his
but doesn't that-
criteria.
doesn't
So
that-
is he going to put me in? So these arguments can
I'm
go
not
on.
religious. So I don't believe in any kind of God, so I'm not like religious.
So me and this young lady are different because she basically not speaking on her behalf, she can speak for herself, but basically her transition happened very early. Mine happened later on in life. We have differences already, but to come back to some of your questions, this is why what's so beautiful, we're not cloned and we don't have exactly the same life, that there are differences. So we should embrace these differences rather than try to pigeonhole everybody into different camps, whether it be to do with gender, sexuality. Everybody's got to be a Baptist, everybody's got to be Catholic, everybody's got to be this, that and all the rest of it, and all these other cliques that go on in life. I'm happy that I live in a life where I can choose certain things about my own life. And
so can I put you on that? As a question, what bathroom do you use, for example? Because we're discussing how your subjective gender manifests itself in society, right? So it is kind of, we do have kind of, how do you put it, skin in the game, right? Because fundamentally you need to choose what bathroom you use. So which bathroom do you use?
Right, so I'll give you.
I don't mind if you don't talk about it.
Now I'll give you a few examples, okay? I've transitioned for quite a while now, so really bathrooms is not a big issue for me.
No, but it might be.
Hello. But when people first transition, can you let me finish? Can we try to have a dialogue? Because otherwise I'm just going to get bombarded with questions and I'm going to get lost. I'm quite new to all this evasion as well, and I normally just come up here to listen. I don't normally get bombarded, but I'm happy to be...
It's actually the first time I've heard you speak.
Yeah, and I am happy to speak.
And I'm so glad.
So basically, when it comes to bathrooms, when I first transitioned, and I was still in the toilets, I would get gay guys or whatever, or toilet attendants who used to be quite whatever. So obviously when I transition, when somebody transitions, just to give people a little eye opener, when you're male to female, for example, I mean I don't relate to this language, but obviously that's the case, male to female, I'm just Naomi. But basically when I went from the male toilets to the female toilets, obviously, when I used to go, they used to say, well, you're still a man. I said, sorry, I'm now Naomi. I define myself as Naomi. Legally speaking, in this country, even before you have your sex change, people have to respect the fact that if I say I'm male to female, and this is donkeys years ago, many years ago, they had to respect I was using the female toilet. There's fuck all that they can do.
But so
and then that gets backed up in a couple of years later when I got my gender recognition certificate, and then nobody can quite.
I know, but the problem I have is that we've kind of agreed that gender and sex is kind of subjective, right? That you can kind of choose on an ad hoc basis whether you're
right. Let me
can I
go on.
I'll follow the point. Is that the problem we get is that what happens if this guy here says I identify as a woman now, and he walks into a woman's bathroom. Now, what kind of, how do we deal with that? If he now says I think I'm a woman now, and he chooses to be a woman,
you got some rum in there.
Can he then enter the female bathroom?
Can I
You'll say I wouldn't go on missing a cold day like
so basically, the toilet attendant, the toilet attendant needs to know the law. If she doesn't know the law, she's going to make mistakes, and then it's up to somebody like me to correct her. If she still wants to argue and debate with me, then the law needs to get involved, and the police need to tell her what the legal situation is. Simple as that, my friend.
But don't you think it's a bit of a problem that if we have that, as we depart from this idea of male and female, that we have these problems where this guy, by your logic, could say, I identify as a woman, he could then enter a woman's bathroom, and then you're saying, well, it's the law, it's fine. What if there's a 6-year-old girl in the bathroom as well? Like, I personally, if I had a daughter...
So now we're going to start talking about trans people or gay people are paedophiles.
No, that's really dangerous, because I have nothing against any of you. Like, you live in a free country.
It's a totally different argument. I've been up here and I've had people confusing the fact of gender dysphoria or somebody like me with like people who go and have, difficulties with some other scenario in life, and they're totally two different concepts. Do you know what I mean?
But what he's trying to say, and I think I kind of on the same page, is my whole argument was we need
genital
certain
mutilation and gender dysphoria.
No. But what I'm saying is,
no.
My thing is, we as human beings, we need certain common understandings how to navigate through life, how to navigate through society, and if he can just turn around of a whim and say, I'm a woman today, and walk into females' bathrooms and then start abusing women.
Yeah, but you're coming from a reality of, like, I think you're quite new to all of this debate. People don't just suddenly, I didn't just wake up yesterday and decide, Oh, now
No, I'm not
I've gone
talking
from
about-
being, hello, can you let me finish? I didn't just wake
You're
up.
misrepresenting what I'm saying.
Yeah,
hold on.
I
what
get
I'm, no, what I'm saying is, well, I'm talking legally. I'm not talking about a personal feeling or not. I'm saying on a legal stance, you just said that if you claim you're a woman, whether you've had any gender reassignment surgery or not, you're a woman from that day on, and legally you should be allowed into women's bathrooms. What I'm saying is, on a legal basis, how do I know that he just woke up that day and said, I'm going to go into a women's toilet and I'm going to fondle some women, so I'm going to whack on a wig and walk in there and say I'm a woman, because the law will be shackled, will have no way of actually countering that. Did he do it because he actually wanted to mess about, or did he do it because he was serious?
No, but we're coming from this reality of, like, you've got bad examples, okay? You're going with a bad fruit, like transgender people have always got bad media or whatever. Most of us do not wake up like I went from being, hello, can you let me finish? You've had your say, now let me have mine, okay? Right, so I didn't go, when I transitioned, however long ago it was, when I was gay, I didn't go from the gay toilets and then suddenly go to the female toilets, and suddenly I was still some form of gay guy who wanted to go and fondle a woman's boobs. Can we just grow up, please?
I agree.
Can we just grow? Can we just grow up, please? Hello. Can we just grow up, please? The reality of somebody who wants to be stupid enough to misuse their whole reality of their gender journey and be some form of paedophile or some woman abuser is a very small minority. Maybe they're in America or maybe they're in prison.
No, it's not
but
maybe.
In reality, those people need help, my friend.
Yeah, but
maybe they were abused by their husband. Maybe they were abused by their mother. Maybe they were raped like me. So that's God help these people, okay?
But I'm not going to plead to God to sort out some dude who wants to go into a woman's prison and then rape women. I don't care about God.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the reality. I'm using the reality of the law.
Because as we depart from this idea that there's a binary male and female, we have these problems that manifest in society, like the bathroom debate. And the bathroom debate is a great litmus, or is a great kind of like example of it. It's like the poster child example. That as soon as we have subjective gender, it doesn't work in society, and the bathroom debate is a good example of that, because this is where we can say, you know, you say, you know, men and women can use bathrooms whatever they want, or you say no, there should be rules imposed, right? And that's exactly what I'm trying to say. I say, as a trans person, explain to me your perspective on this, because I personally don't agree with some of the things you say with regard to, you know, gender subjective. I don't think that's right, and it's not based on science.
Can I ask you a question? If somebody's had the full operation and post-op, do you think they should be allowed to go into a woman's toilet without any problems?
Personally, I think that because there's an issue with, like, regard to how the answer to that question is no. Essentially, I think that
Okay, so me and Naomi have had gender reassignment surgery.
Yeah.
So now we don't have penises anymore. So do you think we would be safe walking into?
Worse though. What's
You
the
spend less
lesson
than 3 minutes in the toilet. Are you really worried about trans people raping women?
No. I'm not worried about trans people raping people. My point is this: is that if we have this idea of subjective gender, that you can decide whenever you want an ad hoc basis about what your gender is. The problem that we could have is that, like, for example, hypothetically, this man could say, I'm a woman now, and enter the men's and women's bathroom. And it would produce the same effect you're saying about uncomfortability, right? What happened if you now went into the men's bathroom, and what happens if he goes into the female bathroom?
Can I just say, sometimes that may happen with people who are in, I don't know, gay clubs, who are doing a cabaret, and sometimes they may have that issue. But I think moving a step further into people who have transitioned, this is really a non-argument. Maybe it happens when we first transition.
I think maybe when you transition, I think that probably should be
Hello, can I make a few, and then I want to move away from this toilet thing, because it's slightly getting on my nerves.
No, but
but basically, yeah, but then it moves into some strange thing like we're all going to be gang rapers.
No,
not you, but him.
No, but I'm not even saying that. That's not my argument.
Hello. Had a conversation online, and it went on for 2 hours. So the toilet situation.
Hello. Can I just say, basically, with, for example, I go to a place called The Place, and they have. I'm not saying I agree with this, because I actually want to be. I am a lady, and therefore I want to go to a female toilet. But there are now places where you can go where male and female toilets are together.
Gender
and
neutral.
Gender neutral. And some people embrace that because they don't want, I mean, me personally, I'd feel a bit strange about going to see still guys urinating in a thing. I personally don't feel comfortable with it. I want to go to a female toilet and I want guys to go and do their thing in a male toilet. But some people still feel comfortable, maybe for men and women. And I presume also with these interesting arguments this gentleman's bringing up, that gender neutral toilets may bring up this whole facade about all this scenario.
Well,
but I want to...
Can we get out of the toilet? Can I give you an example? You brought me into it. Can I say, I know, but maybe a better example of what you're trying to say, I think, is if it's subjective and you can say I'm a man today, a woman tomorrow. Say, for instance, a business grant going to women.
Yes.
That happens.
Okay.
To promote women's business, someone decides to give 20 grand to an upstarting business started by a woman.
Yeah, okay.
Can someone just say, well, I'm a woman? Could I say,
Exactly.
I'm a woman, can I have the £20,000?
That's what I mean.
I think that's more
These are the real life issues
interesting
that I
than
was trying to
toilets.
address, is that by simply making or expecting me to think you're an actual woman, these will have...
I don't know one trans person that would force you to believe they're actually
No,
biological
but there
women.
is
So
that
it's not saying-
narrative.
Yeah, but no.
But there is a narrative that is
I've
trying
never
to say...
I'm a trans person.
I know,
Naomi's a
but
trans
that's
person.
what I mean.
We've never once asked people to accept that we're
No,
biological
but
women.
what I'm saying
No,
is
we're not.
there is this larger narrative which people are literally saying that if trans women are women, this is why you were talking about Jermaine Gray, where they have these women who say these are trans exclusionary feminists who don't accept trans people as women. They think, like this gentleman said about...
the right to
but this gentleman said there could be scholarships for universities, there could be business loans which are exclusively for women. Do trans men or trans people qualify for
Jermaine
those?
Greer, she can have whatever views she wants.
No, but what I'm
But
saying
does she
is-
actually know anything about being transsexual?
but Naomi-
She's not transsexual herself. What right does she have to
I'm
talk
not
about
talking
those
about
things?
that. But Naomi, you have to address the issue. You have to address the issue that if there is a loan, if there's a financial loan exclusively for women, should you or should you not qualify for it? Or at what point of transition does a man qualify for that loan and he's no longer a man?
Loan.
Yeah, I'm saying if there's like a bank loan, if there's a scholarship to university exclusively for women.
Yeah, so legally
on my passport,
This is illegal.
No,
specified
I'm saying you have to
and on my
address
birth
this issue
Right,
has
so
to be societally
This
addressed.
is the first time, or it's probably the second time I've spoken. Are we going to just go on narratives about?
We'll do a kind of
This is the second time I've spoken here. Are we going to go on narratives about whether Naomi wants to go into a loan and hit the
But with
bank,
respect-
or do you want to ask me any other more other questions
I do
rather
think he's
than
talking
strange
generally,
questions?
and
Yeah.
you're bringing it back to personal. With
Yeah,
respect
I'm
to
talking
you.
personal. I'm talking about if we have to accept you're a living human being, a trans person, whether you think you are or not. We have to accept you in this society. We have to incorporate you into this society, and we have certain things, certain laws and guidelines that we've established over thousands of years, certain understandings that human beings have, which allows us to navigate through this society.
Okay.
Now, in this era with the
Can
trans...
you ask a question rather than going on
but
to a lecture? It sounds like I'm at
but I'm
church.
trying to make you understand that we have to set up laws
Yes.
that include you into
So if
our
I go
society.
into a bank and I ask for a loan, I expect the person to give me a loan.
No. If
not
there's a
just
loan
basic-
exclusively for women,
It's like a hypothetical. Like a
should
business
you
grant.
qualify for that or should you not?
Well, why shouldn't we?
Basically,
But what I'm saying is exactly.
Well,
at
you
what
should.
point is a man no longer a man, is now a woman, and now
Okay, so
qualifies?
basically-
where do we draw that line in the sand? We say
Okay. And
if
you
we draw
from
the line,
here
okay,
onwards.
okay, I get the idea. Can I speak
Yeah,
now?
sorry,
Because you're
go on.
going on this horrific. I don't know.
But I'm trying to explain
Yeah,
where
I
I'm
understand.
coming from.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, so can you just very smallly go
At what
with what?
point do you say that this is no longer a man and now it's a
Right.
woman?
So for me,
Where do you draw that line?
For me personally, for you it seems to be very difficult to understand. For me it's quite simple. I was Brian, the homosexual, yeah? I've told you what I went through. I was raped, had relationships with boys. Now I'm Naomi. I'm pretty much asexual, and I'm happy with that. I've got rid of Brian, and now I'm Naomi. For me, it's as simple as that. Now, for you to be able to understand that, you're not in my position, so maybe you'll never be able to understand that raped Brian, the homosexual Brian, is now Naomi, that pretty much asexual, unless I find a beautiful person who's going to be able to embrace the fact that they can't do whatever men want to do with women. As I've said, I've had a labioplasty, not a vaginoplasty. So for me, it's as simple as that. Now, when it comes to other people, when I go to a bank, I've got a gender recognition certificate. So if I get somebody like you who asks me, I mean, I've won a case. When I first transitioned, I went to a place in Camden. It was a female only. This is a good example for you because it gives you a real example. I went to a female only counselling thing. When I got there, the women were saying, oh, we think you might rape the women here or do some strange things with them. So along your narrative of what you're saying people like me are like, okay? So basically, basically, when I got there and they were saying these things, I then went legal and I won £5,000 because basically they're suggesting that because of who I am, I'm going to go around in this place, and because it's a female-only project and maybe they see me still as who I was before, I'm going to abuse the women there. Now, I won £5,000 because basically I wasn't there to go and do strange things with women. I was there because I wanted to seek help for myself. And I went to a female-only place because, personally speaking, I feel better speaking to females because they have more emotional and whatever connection to me than what men do, who are normally, not all men, because you get some very sweet, emotional men as well, but normally men are...
Beta males.
Normally men
Soy
just...
boys.
Normally men...
just beta males, probably.
Normally men just want to talk about one or two topics in the pub.
Simps.
Sex, jobs or whatever. Women are more whatever, so I'm more connected with women. But sexually I'm more connected with men. But as regards all these things you're posing to me, like, I mean, I haven't gone to a bank and asked for a loan and so on and so forth.
I'm not asking you on a personal level, though. I was taking on the general societal level.
Well, on a societal level, basically we have laws, gender laws, where there's no discrimination. So I don't understand the preface of your question. If there's any bank or if there's any toilet, like I've had troubles in toilets, in shops many years ago, and I went to complain and they had to get people to come and talk to them about their shop people, and even people in shops who refer to you as the wrong gender. I'm very strong on that, and I will complain to the manager, and then they have to go and get people to talk to them to get the people up to date as regards. Yes, you do have to respect. You may not agree with it, you may find it difficult, but if I go to a shop, the woman or the man cannot refer to me in the wrong
Naomi,
gender.
can I ask you a question? Are you legally now on your birth certificate?
Yeah.
Many years ago I got my
so
gender
what is the issue then?
No,
You
that's
mentioned
not
you had a
what I'm
certificate.
talking about.
Can we just...
I'm not talking about individuals. See, the problem is you're taking what I'm saying in a societal level.
Yeah, I'm going to take it
to
personal because it's my personal journey, so sorry about me taking it
no,
personal.
what I'm saying is, I'm not saying you should be speaking for the whole trans community. I'm saying is that there are certain issues that we have.
I will speak as best as I will speak as best as I
But the
can.
bank issue is kind of resolved then, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Hello, hello.
Let me just.
Yeah,
express
but can
what I'm
I
saying.
say I will speak as best as I can for my trans brothers and sisters. But their journey is their journey, so I can't.
No,
there are people who are happy
I'm not
to
even.
be called
I'm not
trans.
even talking about
I'm
trans
personally.
people. I'm talking about the problem that this society has to resolve is the problem of the bad actors, those who are not really trans, who pretend to be trans, and if we are to accept people, that is a reality.
Why are you
That is a
focused?
reality.
When you're speaking to me, you're trying to get educated about trans issues, and you're referring to these bad apples or people. Why are you so hung up about all these strange people
because
who are
that
not
is
trans or they're
yeah, but
paedophiles or
Naomi,
whatever they are? I don't
That is a
fucking care.
contentious issue within our
Oh
society.
really?
It
Well, go
is.
talk to them then. You know, I'm not one of
But
those.
we-
So I can't talk.
I wanted your take on that. I didn't just want to just solve the world's problems. I wanted your perspective
Well,
she's trying to
do you
say
know what?
from that.
Do you know what I feel? Do you know what I feel? I feel very sad for somebody who is just doing those types of things. I've been there, I've gone to trees over there, I've done bad things in my life or whatever. But when it comes to these types of people, I don't really, I haven't come here to even discuss that. And I can't think of the right words right
But
now.
do you recognize that this is an issue that we should approach and actually try to actually resolve? Even though we accept that there are genuine trans people, there are bad actors.
I think what she's trying to say is that you're
I think
fixating
you're
on
hiding.
on a particular issue.
Yeah, because that is a
and
very
not- and not
contentious
going
issue.
to the wider.
Because the wider issue is resolved. I don't have a problem with you,
So is that the
with
main issue
Naomi
that
or
you've got
Sophia getting a bank loan for women, going to university and getting grants just if it's for women. You guys are actually.
I think you
an
have a big
exception.
fear. I think you have a big fear that you're hiding behind. That you think somehow that we're all so quite dodgy that we're undercover
really
sort
don't
of.
like that.
I have
No one's saying
I
that
have
about it.
no fear of you guys in any shape or form. I 100%
So why are you picking?
accept you.
Why are you picking on stupid
but-
Jermaine Greer arguments?
what I'm saying
or
is
I think what he's trying to say is that he's okay with everything else, so he's got no problem to argue.
No, exactly.
apart
There
from
is
that
no
one
argument
last
on the other
problem.
half. There is
So
this
in a way
one
it's a
element,
positive.
which is we have to automatically believe any Tom, Dick, and Harry who wakes up tomorrow and says, I'm Susie, and now we have to abide by all the rules that we've
right,
given
the
women.
reality. Let me tell
That
you.
problem has
okay,
to be solved.
Okay, let me tell you the reality of the law. If basically somebody is going to a toilet and they're doing whatever you suggest they're doing, then they're going to get put in, then they're going to get arrested and they'll get their punishment or whatever.
scenario.
I don't believe in punishment. I don't believe in prison. I believe they need rehabilitation. But how far are you going? Are you just talking about somebody who goes into a toilet and just touches someone's boob?
No, I'm talking about a guy who pretended he was transsexual and was transferred from a male prison to a women's prison in which he raped 4 women in that women's prison.
Okay, so
this has to be addressed.
Okay. So statistically, can you give me? Because I know that.
No, I'm not saying
Hello.
this isn't a wide area.
Oh my
thing.
God.
I'm not going to tell you it's 40% of trans people that do this. I'm saying that it is a problem that should be acknowledged and should be addressed.
Okay, so can you let me speak now? Because you're lecturing. Okay, so we have this problem where people in America, for example, because I know it happens in America, you get people who want to be going to a female prison, but because society or American culture sees them still as a man, they force them into. Do you think that that's right? Forget what they've done or what you think they've done. I personally want to live in a world under the guardian authority where if somebody in America calls themselves a female, they go to a fucking
Hey, listen,
they
you
go
here
to
tonight?
a female prison. They
ما
don't
شاء
go
الله.
to a
الله
male
أكبر.
prison.
ما شاء الله. لا إله إلا الله محمد
They
رسول الله.
don't define themselves.
understand?
They don't define themselves.
لا إله
as
إلا
a
الله
male anymore.
محمد رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سبحان الله. الحمد لله. Like
Why
Khabib
have you
said.
got this
الحمد
fixation
لله.
about rape and all this,
الحمد
for
لله.
example?
Come stand next to them, bro. Come stand next to them.
No, I chatted to them already.
Yeah, so
We've
what's
done a
the
Chichi Man
statistic-
tune, everything.
What's the statistics
Yeah, you missed it.
of these cases?
Oh, what?
I'm just speaking
Rex and them man. Relax.
You made a Chichi Man tune.
Yeah, we've done a mad tune to
There's
this.
many other problems
listen,
as well, my friend. Do you know what?
well, you
people
wanna do it again, the
starting
Chichi
right
tune?
now? There's people dying right now.
Who?
There's somebody like me who wants
Hey,
to
that's
kill
some guy,
himself
bruv. Listen,
right
what?
now.
You want to hear that tune
You're
again?
worried about some trans
But listen,
person
what
doing
I'm trying to say
whatever. There's many different
is that
problems
what time are you
with
leaving today?
life.
Hey, man, I ain't got no.
Straight down, like that, yeah? هاي الزم يم الكاميرا الزم هيك مو حسوي الزم Yeah, what? It's bare man hating, yeah? Listen. انت خليني اسوي رقصه. Actually, hold this. I would have done a little tune here, the dance tune. الزم حكي. خاطر اسوي الزم. Jump and dance, yeah. Yeah. Tiki Man Part 2. You know the Akis, you know how it is. Big up everyone that's real, you get me? MashaAllah.
Let me listen to what they're saying.
I know. Okay, but let me give the question again. You said about that females should go to female prisons and males should go to male prisons, which I agree with on the whole, right? The issue is that if gender is subjective, like you said, it's before the gender reassignment. You said just then that as a woman, you became a woman before you had whatever surgery you had, right? And we agreed. So there was a point in time where you had male appendages and you consider yourself a female, right? And at that point, you would want to go to a female prison. Is that correct so far?
Sorry for the bad name.
That there was a point where you had you didn't have operations, but you prefer to go to a female prison.
Yes.
Right. If that's true, right? If that's your way of looking at things, hypothetically speaking, I'm not being like rude, hypothetically speaking, if I was arrested now, what's stopping me from saying I recognise as a woman and I now want to be sent to a female bathroom? Where's the line? Where's the line between this situation?
The line is quite simple, my friend.
Okay,
because I'm now a real life situation. It's happened to me.
Yeah.
You're just coming in. You're just coming into this scenario and saying I'm going to bring up an argument where I'm saying I'm a male and I'm just hypothetically a female, and I think I can get away with that. So I'll just bring on a wongi with the police and try to make out. But that's stupid, my friend. Well, it's not a really sophisticated argument.
Let me explain why it is a sophisticated argument. Because of this. You said that there was a point in time in which you didn't have the reassignment therapy, and legally speaking, you'd be considered a man. You said that, right?
A female, yes, from a man to a female.
Yeah, but there was a point in time where you might have had male appendages and you weren't legally recognised
so
as a woman.
it's putting it in my language, okay? When I was Brian, and I decided that I wanted to be Naomi. It's not really a decision, but you get the grab of what I'm trying to say. When I knew that was the case, I defined myself as female from that point.
So you defined yourself, right?
With a penis, I was still female. Because it's not about. Let me put this into reality. It's not about what you have.
Okay.
It's not about what you have, whether you have boobs and a penis or whatever. It's about how you feel inside.
Right. Okay.
So if you look like a guy, you look like a sweet guy to me, but I don't know whether you feel like a female inside. So I would need to talk to you. You may say you're a female inside, even though I see a guy, which is why people make mistakes. As regards they think somebody's a guy. This guy might be a really big guy, but deep down he looks like. Hold on. He may. Hold on. Listen. He may look like.
A fat bloke.
Listen. He looks like.
I'm gonna joke.
Can I finish, please?
Carry on, proceed.
He looks like a bear, yeah? He looks like a bear.
How do you bear?
But deep down, he might say to me. But deep down inside, he might say he's a female, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to look on the outward appearance.
Okay.
You look what's inside the heart,
so
my friend.
if that's true, you say like, look inside the heart and whatever. But you still haven't answered the question very well. Why, if he now says I want to be identified as a woman, should he be sent to a female or male prison? If we're judging by
if it's genuinely, I'm going to answer the question. If it's genuinely feeling like he's a female,
What
I
define
believe.
the genuine? But what is the genuine? My point is like,
When I say genuine, I'm.
Like separate the genuine and the malicious. I don't understand.
Because I'm fighting with so many different
No, we're
people.
not fighting whatsoever. I'm just trying to understand.
Really, I'm not fighting
right?
with you.
No, not fighting,
Naomi.
but like I'm trying to
I don't-
answer
I
so
don't
many
wanna be
questions and you keep going on and on and on and I'm going to lose the question.
But Naomi, I want to let you know, I don't want to be, I don't want there to
So
be
can we
like an
just
aggression.
acknowledge one thing? Let's just find out one thing. Do you agree that once somebody's had the operation,
I think so. Yeah.
their
yeah.
gender has been
I'll
changed
that is-
legally?
Yeah, I'll go to
Is
that
that an
point.
issue for you? Or,
And recognised on our birth certificate.
Okay, yeah.
And so your main concern now is
where
the
is that
transitional
moment?
period.
Right,
Yeah.
so I'm going to answer that. I'm going
Is
to
that what you're
answer.
trying to say, the transitional period?
Yeah, I'm trying to say, say with the prisons, for example, like, where is the line? Do you see what I mean? Where is that line when we say, like, you are now a female and now a male? And, like, for prisons, how do you know, for example, that he's being disingenuous or not?
Exactly.
Well, legally speaking, maybe I'm going maybe slight. I mean, I'm not legally embraced in all of this. I'm not a legal guru or whatever. Maybe it's the case that legally speaking, you're female from when you get your gender recognition certificate. But a lot of people who are male to female or female to male want to be respected when they make the decision. That's the only thing I'm saying. So maybe I'm slightly incorrect by saying that, like, but I mean the police and most other people, they couldn't do anything. If I decided 12 years ago at 36, when I did, I went from the male toilets to the female toilets. There's nothing nobody could do because inside I knew I was female, so nobody can fight against that. But legally speaking, you are female from when you get your gender
Can
recognition.
you explain what a gender certificate is? Because I've never heard of it.
Well, first of all, when you, I'm not specialised in these things, but basically,
If you want to say it.
when I change, first of all, when you go to the gender clinic, very quickly they get you to change your name. It took me quite a while. It also took me a long time at the gender clinic. It took me 6 years, and as I've said already, they were asking me stupid questions like, am I going to ask for my penis back? I did not like the experience one iota, because I'm there to have that taken off, and they're asking stupid questions. And I literally had to say to them, I want my transition now, otherwise I'm going to go to Sweden. And as soon as I said that, then I was faced with two choices. Do I want labioplasty or vaginoplasty? And to cut a long story short, they probably gave me my gender scenario quite quickly because I said I wanted the labioplasty. If I said I wanted the vaginoplasty, it may have taken a bit more time.
So what's the difference between those two operations?
I may have explained that already, so you're obviously not listening, but I'll say it again. Right. Sorry?
No, she has explained it. She has.
I've explained it already. I'll explain it again.
You're
Right.
so confrontational.
So
I'm just trying to ask what this is.
I'm not
trying to,
confrontational, it's just the way I am. It's
I
probably my
personally had
mental
a
health.
thing.
Just be a bit patient because she hasn't really spoken that much.
the
as
surgery.
well, so let her.
Yeah, I've had my gender
And you haven't. You've done more though.
surgery, yeah.
Oh, you said you had it twice?
No, I'm saying she said it twice.
You're my
No, no,
video,
but
aren't you?
Right,
what's the
so
difference?
She said
So
it
there's a vaginoplasty, which is basically means, well, I'm going to cut it short by saying if you have a vaginoplasty, it means a man's ding dong can go inside your vagina.
Okay, cool.
I had a labioplasty, which means because of my abuse and because I didn't want to carry on doing things in trees as a woman or whatever, I chose to have a labioplasty, which means my journey is more emotional and interpersonal. So that's a decision I made, that I wanted my journey to be more emotional and interpersonal rather than sexual. Whereas other trans people may want their journey to be more sexual, and that's good luck to them, but I chose otherwise.
Okay, cool. That's
So for me it's as simple as that.
What do they do with in a labioplasty? What's the procedure?
A labioplasty, basically, well, with both operations, they use your penis, they basically invert your penis into a vagina. So basically, for me, I have a clitoris, but I don't have the thing inside for the man's dick to go inside.
Do you mind if I put it on the
I'm so sorry to be graphic.
We'll get him on
I
the
don't want it to be that graphic. And again, I am so sorry.
I can't hear because there's so many conversations going on all at once.
Do you find the general public accept you, and do you think things are getting better or worse? Or?
From my perspective, my journey's been, my gender journey's been really good. I still have issues with my mental health, but my gender journey is going really well. And as regards the public, I've said earlier on, I still get people riding on bikes saying they want to kill me. and people spitting at me. But I don't care about all of that because I have enough strength inside of me just to be able to walk on. Sometimes I have to challenge people when they're making assumptions or, you know, saying all sorts of things, which has even happened today. It's about education. It's about people learning and understanding. So we have to get rid of the ignorance which is in society generally, and all over the world.
Do you find you have to answer things that you don't think of? Say, no, that's not me. You're an individual, Naomi. I don't care what Jermaine Greer says, whatever. Do you have to sort of be defensive?
I think probably if people have seen me as being defensive, that's probably a criteria of my borderline.
Well done, Fiona.
It's probably a
Naomi.
It's a criteria of my borderline.
Is it Naomi, isn't it?
I've got to say, I think you've done really well to talk today. I don't want to sound patronising, but you've done really, really well. Really good to hear you speak.
Look, Naomi, it's been a pleasure. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to be confrontational. I just had some
speaker's corner for you. That's the way it is.
And I wanted to just, you know, I know it was a bit.
We just want to learn more.
No, I'd be happy. No, I personally would be happy to do it again, but I just want. I mean, maybe I can't force you to get over some of your interesting synopsises, but I would like to talk to you more on basically more interesting topics other than like.
Maybe you ask the questions.
Just sort of
Can I say something?
all the bad stuff about transsexual people or whatever. It's all the bad media that maybe you're hooking onto, or the bad examples, or just one or two. I wanted to be positive, and I want the light to be positive. And even if people hate us, then they've still got to embrace. I think that's what.
And I'm just going to say that this is Misfits Corner as well, this little spot. So anyone that's a little bit strange, come over here. Don't be scared of the bullies. So we're going to big up Sophia as well. Obviously, I think that kind of gave
guys, I'll be honest, I didn't want to be confrontational. I just had these like thoughts about the situation, and I just wanted to like converse with you. And it came across maybe more confrontational than I intended, but that wasn't my intent. My intent was genuinely like there are issues that I've been thinking about, and I've never had an opportunity to talk to certainly trans individuals about it because I don't meet trans people all the time. So it's a rare thing. But it wasn't in any way. I truly did not want to be disrespectful or confrontational.
But she called you fat though. It's even now.
It's still true. Doesn't change the fact.
No, I didn't call him fat. I said
bear. I'm going with the bear. I'm much happier with the bear. Fuck you, Raj. Call me fat. She called me bear. No, but genuinely, I just had some thoughts and I wanted to express them, and I thank you for just answering.
But I also just want to say as well, some of the people that you're talking about in prisons or whatever, they've probably got mental health issues. So a lot of even. I want to get this out as well. Even people, not just trans people, but LGBT generally, and probably other groups as well. So it's not just defined to LGBT, but there's higher rates of suicide, mental health, all sorts of things. And that's not like a red herring, that's reality, my friend.
And that's another topic we need to talk about as well.
So don't just think it's a red herring, oh poor transsexuals or poor LGBT. It's a fact that like any minority, then there's more risk of suicide. I mean, look at guys in prisons, whether they be black or white. People end up killing them. People end up killing themselves. So this is all just very sad.
So one of the topics we can talk about next time is depression and suicide rates within certain communities, because it's higher within certain communities. Like the autistic community has a higher rate of suicide. Obviously, I've got Asperger's syndrome, and it's normally because of how you're treated. Because people are always kind of like being mean to you, that it wears you down to a certain degree. There are other factors as well, but that's a big one. So I think what we'll do is next week we'll talk about that and incorporate the issue with transgenderism and stuff like that as well. So. And look what Deen gave me. Have a look. He gave me a juju stick to keep the demons away. So all right, well let's keep them away. Does it work? I don't know if it works. I might use it against him. Well, he gave it to me, but I might use it against him. So, all right. You missed all the good news, all the heat though. He went mad. He was going crazy. He was busting a nut.
Next time.
Maybe we could do a more show.
Yeah, it would be good to.